Hello again, and hey everybody, Malkazir returning with another installment of Final Fantasy XIV. We're going to continue the story here today. Last we went to the dungeon titled Keeper of the Lake, and we got to talk to big bad dead dragon Midgard-Sormr, and he essentially took away all of my crystal power, which is no bueno. But now I actually have him as you can see him in here, a pet, because he will follow me around and speak to me and stuff. So we'll go and continue here. Praise the 12th that you were hale and whole. I came as soon as Minfilia informed me of Sir Emmerich's request. You have completed your investigation of the Keeper of the Lake, I take it. Then I would hear your report. Explain. Voice acting? You conversed with Midgard-Sormr? I swear, were anyone else to make such a claim, I would regard it with considerable skepticism. Are we to understand that the Worm Lord did not perish and has in sooth laid dormant for these past 15 years? Less a resurrection and more a rejuvenation for he who dwelleth in eternity, years passing as moments. Though his words were ambiguous at times, one statement left little room for interpretation. My people have heard the song, Ishgard shall burn. Clearly an attack is imminent. We must share this information with Sir Emmerich immediately. However, we dare not divulge a conversation with Midgard-Sormr in its entirety. To even acknowledge that you heard the voice of a Dravanian is a grave but necessary risk, lest we forget men who have been executed as heretics for declaring as much. For your own protection and for the sake of our tenuous relations with Ishgard, the truth cannot leave this room. As for how we shall present our revelation to Sir Emmerich's emissary, you may leave that to me. Pray remain here for now. Is there something you're not telling us, Malkazir? You seem different somehow. It's almost as if you're missing something important. Explain, blah blah blah. Well, for Fen, Midgard stripped you of the blessing of light? Are you alright? How do you feel? I feel nodding. I see. It is a relief to hear that you are otherwise unharmed. It beggars belief that any being can possess the power to deprive you of her blessing. Midgard-Sormr made mention of a covenant, did he not? One of the ancient myths regarding Silvertear Falls states that when the waters came into existence, so too did the Great Worm. Althik and Nymea, brother Time and sister Fate, decreed that Midgard-Sormr ever watch over the source from which all water and magic was said to flow. I wonder, what if this was the covenant of which he spoke, and 'twas not the gods with whom he treated, but Heidelin herself? Well, if he is watching over you as he claimed, mayhap you will have an opportunity to ask. Let us keep this matter to ourselves. I do not wish to burden our friends needlessly. Art thou a pawn or master of thy fate? What hast thou wrought by thine own hands, mortal?
My friend, I can scarce believe it. You confronted the Worm Lord and lived to tell the tale.
There's some voice acting. Heck yeah.
I give thanks to Helone for your preservation. It is our sole cause for gladness. Your encounter with the Keeper of the Lake served to confirm our fears. A great worm has roared, and it makes little difference if it was one of the two in Eorzea or any other. The Dravanians are coming.
I am told that Ishgard has magical defenses against Dravanian attack, though I am not privy to their exact nature. Will they be enough to repel a massive force?
Ishgard has weathered countless assaults over centuries. This will be no different. And now that you have confirmed the threat, none can ignore the Lord Commander's calls for the wards to be strengthened. I dare not presume to speak for him, but I expect the Lord Commander would sing your praises.
Didn't he say that you were his mouth?
But we shall meet again soon.
That you could speak for him, and we could speak to you as if we were speaking to him? You just contradicted yourself. Or contradicted him. That's awesome.
Countless assaults weathered, and this will be no different? Why am I not convinced?
Because you are skeptical. Sub-alpha no. The Ishgardians have warred with the Dravanians for centuries, nay, nearly 1,000 years. In all that time, not once have their enemies breached their defenses and entered the city proper. Yet, regardless of how strong these magical wards may be, I nevertheless fear that the Ishgardians are underestimating the gravity of the situation. Though it was not Maegor Sommer who roared, a call to arms by one of the First Brood cannot be ignored. Until such time as they choose to request our aid, however, we can do naught but observe the situation at a distance, and pray that our fears are unfounded. Ere I forget, I believe Moonbreda has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume there has been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment. I shall be along once I've completed my communications with the Crystal Braves. All done with your talk of dragons? Wonderful, because Ascians are next on the menu. Let's head into the solar, shall we? Can I... Just teleport me. Let's voice act it. Heck yeah. Unless all you guys love to hear my dulcet tones over here.
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon. I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Let her speak, Minfilia. Jeez. There's some nods for you.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void. Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white auracite has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
We not anymore?
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether. Hang on a minute. Why didn't we think of this before? white aurosite can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene.
Yeah, didn't you already say that?
How many times do you need to be told that white aurosite cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
Why did she forget so soon?
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them. What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian soul? Or still more?
That'd be quite a bit.
I envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around, on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
That's the very problem we set out to solve. And I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source. And the only viable source is the land.
If you mean to tap the Great River of Ether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land? I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea. I've yet to put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
That's such the obvious choice, though. Just use these crystals. Why didn't anybody think of it?
If you think it worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, what are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Mordona makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether. Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
May I suggest northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum. During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant. Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival. and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go. Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Arsians will next appear.
Or if they're listening.
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
Though you have become a crystal brave, you are yet a scion, Alfino. We could hardly refuse you.
No.
Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thangred and Papalimo shall accompany you.
What about Ida? Nods. There's a nod.
Ida and Yashtola.
Oh, there we go.
In the meantime, I would have you assist Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white orosite.
Thank you, Arianger. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you are able. Go well, and be safe.
So we're gonna go beat up some Empire. The fringe ones, though, the ones that are no longer supported by the actual Empire, just the one legion that done goofed. It would seem that events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation. Although I would wish it otherwise, I must ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. The Fourth have already deployed to the area and await the arrival of the Scions. Wilred will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Ilberd at our headquarters in Ul'dah. I shall take command of our forces. There with a lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. Oh, like what? What's going on? Who else is going to talk to me? Your duties taken to Northern Thanaland, do they not? We too must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Flamen travels to Ul'dah, and we shall serve as her escorts. At my daughter's behest, I go to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations, threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see, and it is my hope that they can be convinced to aid the Scion's cause. If past events have taught us anything, then we know that Eorzea must present a united front, or we shall fall. Ah, how extraordinary that my little Asilia is involved in such far-reaching affairs. I am proud that I might not stand at her side not only as a mother, but also a colleague. A colleague with influential connections, but I fear that Ul'dah has become a place of danger even for one so familiar with her streets. Ah, woe betide the blackguard that so much as glares in your direction, milady. Yeah! Well, hello there, everyone. Oh, raid? Aha, I shall be well protected, it seems. Shall we be on our way, then? Ooh, I like those. I like those emotes. Those are cute. How's everyone doing? Y'all come over to hang out and chill and watch me do some story mode? Oh man. Seven people, that's a sizable raid too. I like it. I'm doing fantastic. Yeah, upstairs, probably inside. Just trying to get myself and then to Heaven's Word for the third time. Oh, there he is. I'm getting there. It's slow going, per usual, but all this stuff is very important for the story. Let me click on this dude and have him start talking to me. Commander Levier sent word that you'd be coming. A veteran of your talents is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I have learned a trick or two since that disaster with the Amalja. But returning to the task at hand. Yes, the farthest I've gotten was just before Shadowbringers. The Flame's reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Rauband's push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing, getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. The Garleans could begin marching on us at any time. Pray speak with Lieutenant Edelstein, that we may coordinate our counter-strategy. In the meantime, I will inform the others that you have arrived. No doubt it will be welcome tidings. And thank you so much for the follow, Panda. It is an alt, and on my other characters I wasn't streaming and recording like I am on this one. And this isn't just a playthrough, it's for anybody who has never played like MMOs, I'm explaining like the general mechanics. And also, like I said, going through the entire story. That way people could, you know, just chill and watch if they want. I'm also uploading all these to YouTube for people who want to watch everything from level 1 on. Sergeant Earthbiter, my soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Archon. Would that we could sit a while and reminisce about old times, but I fear more pressing matters require our attention. The civilian draftsmen, I think, have come across several highly suspicious crates within the boundaries of the processing plant. I had my sappers take a closer look, and our worst fears were confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices of Imperial design, no less. Yes, I have played numerous MMOs. Well, I think once I sat down and actually listed out all the ones that I tested out, even the ones that I only played for like a little bit. It was like in the more than 20 different MMOs have I played. The main ones were Final Fantasy, WoW, and nowhere near as much time as I put into these two, but Rift. By my order, the Flames stationed here are conducting a thorough sweep of the compound as we speak. Though it troubles me that we are unable to apprehend the Imperial spy behind this, I have faith that our men will be able to neutralize the threat for now. In the meantime, our scouts bring troubling news on latest movements of the Imperial Army. I would once again ask for your aid. I also played quite a bit of Star Wars: The Old Republic. I enjoyed that one a lot too. Yeah, most of the games in the same genre do feel the same way. They're all different in their own ways. In some ways I prefer this, in some ways I prefer WoW. It just depends on, you know, what I'm doing. Like, I do like how you can switch between classes on one character as opposed to having to start a new character from scratch. Okay. There. And I also like how the story in this is actually like a continuous story, and you're involved in it from as soon as like level 5 is when the story actually really starts. That's both a blessing and a curse, because once you get past, you know, the final mission for the for the original game or each expansion, then you have all those I don't know how to call them, maybe like the bridging quests, where they're like, hey, let's come out with new quests every 2 months just to keep people busy until the new expansion comes out. So right now, obviously, look, I'm level 58, and I'm not into Ishgard yet, even though it's a level 50 zone. So it's just how it is. It's fine. I've done it twice before, so not that big a deal. We've been keeping a close eye on the Garlean garrison, and it would seem the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squads seen leaving the castrum are too few in number to effectively take and hold our position. They will likely mount a swift assault and focus on the acquisition of resources. I have, of course, also shared this report with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take to the field to meet this assault head-on. I have apprised your fellow Scions of the situation and am heartened to know that they will be joining the effort. Pray report to Lieutenant Alian and lend your much welcome strength to the counteroffensive. Where are you? Everyone's here. Glad to have you with us, Malgazer. I am sure Lieutenant Edelstein has explained. The Gargarlians have deployed a small force from Castrum Meridianum. Their main column assembles to the north near Dalamud's Talons, but we've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. Hello, Ilberd. They wish you rush forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men. Captain Ilberd. Greetings, Scion. I understand the commander bid you and your fellows come lend a hand to the Braves. With such mighty heroes at his disposal, the 4th should have little trouble contending with aught the Garleans might throw at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The 3rd was getting restless, holed up in Ul'dah, so I marched them out there to fill any holes in the plant's defenses and add their numbers to the counterattack. What level are you, Panda? Oh yeah, you're level 15, I see. The reinforcements are welcome. We have enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage the enemy far beyond the walls. Aye, it would be best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this much ceruleum. Let's take this fight to the Garleans. A wise course indeed. I shudder to think of the consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scions shall join the 4th and give battle to this main column. I'll answer in a second. This is all automatically going, so you're with the 3rd then, Warrior of Light. Your job would be to intercept these squads hiding out in the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yuyuhase. His scouts should have a rough idea where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. Alright. Any more talking? Hi, everyone. That's a cool axe. I like that axe. Alright, so here's the way I usually do it. Oh, I also do like how he'll sit on your shoulder. Cute. So when I play, I usually play a tank. That's my favorite role to play in any MMO. The nice thing about having that when you're going through the story is that you have much shorter queue times for your dungeons. If you pick a DPS, it's going to be take a lot longer, and you'll be relying on the side quests and fates and the hunting log while you're waiting for the queue to pop is essentially what it is. You could use the main scenario quest experience to help your DPS along, but like I said, I don't like waiting in queue for too long. So what I did is I just play the Paladin the entire way through, and then I usually do if I want to do like a DPS, like I did Arcanist up to 30, that way I can get access to Scholar, because I like the Scholar healing. I like how they heal. I played just through, like you said, through the main scenario and my class quests. Now there is a point you'll get to where if you just do those, you'll have to do a bunch of side things just to bridge, like around level 48, 49 is where it's like, oh, I've done all the main scenarios and all the class quests up to this point. But my next main scenario quest is a level higher than I am, so I need to actually do it would be, you know, oh yeah, your DPS Thaumaturge is fun. They turn into Black Mage at 30, which is really cool. Yeah, I keep all the side quests. That way when I do want to do a DPS, I already have these available and it helps me fill in the blank. But yeah, like I was saying, if you do just if you just do like a tank or a healer and you just do the main scenario and the class quests, then around level 48, 49, you'll be at a spot where you're stuck and you can't get to the next main scenario quest until you actually gain a level. So you have to do that. But once you get past that point, and once you get to level 50, then you are solid. Like once you get level 50, all these main scenario quests at this point that bridge A Realm Reborn up to Heavensward, they give you so much experience. Like I said, I'm at level 58. So I'm almost to the maximum level you should be for Heavensward already. But when I get to Heavensward, I will have no issues. So that's what that's what I do. Now, I have not done any any of these side quests at all, because I didn't really need to. I've done it because once you do them, they're done. And once you do the main scenario quest, you can't do it again. So your main source of experience through that is gone for any other side classes you're going to do. You just have to learn how to, like I said, bridge the gap. There are a lot of ways you can do it. There are fates, which give a good amount. There are, what was I saying? There are fates, there's a hunting log, and there are you can do PvP. I think they give a lot of experience. I haven't really done it, but I hear they give good amount of experience. And of course, you'd be doing a lot of dungeons along the way. One of the other nice things, though, is my highest level is 58. So any class that I hop on that is lower than my highest level gets what they call the armory bonus, which they get essentially an extra 100% experience just for being lower than your main. I don't know. I haven't done the trial in so long. Last I checked, the trial was maxed out at level 35, but I think they changed it. I think it gets you up to Heavensward. I'm not 100% sure. Let's take a look. Sorry, I think when I click out, all the music stops. So, Final Fantasy XIV trial. Play up to level 60 for free without time restrictions. But does it mean level 60 or does that mean all the way up to the end of Heavensward? Maybe it's one or the other, maybe it's both. I'm not 100% sure. But that does give you quite a bit of content and time to figure out if you want to actually pay for this. Yeah. Let's see, hang on. Let's see. So it says, as a patch 5.3, the free trial includes everything from A Realm Reborn and Heavensward for free. This includes the main quests for the base game and the first expansion, but also all the side content that goes with it. So you'll be able to, based on that, you'll be able to get all the way up to the very first quest of Stormblood. Well, it's actually brilliant on their part, because what they're doing is they're giving you a ton of time to make the decision, and once you're that far, you know, then it becomes the sunk cost fallacy of like, hey, I put all this time into it, do I really want to stop playing? And thank you for the follow as well, Sharuk. I certainly do appreciate it. On the road to 50. So I usually don't get a whole lot of time to stream. I just got another position at work, so that's going to be extremely limited. But the day that I really do, I certainly do, is on Saturdays from 8:30 to midnight Arizona time. So if you want to keep watching me play, I will definitely be there. And if you miss anything, like I said, I upload everything onto YouTube. When do you get your first mount? So you have to get to a certain point in the main scenario quest. It's not just level based. It's, you know, not like WoW where it's like, hey, at level 20, here's your mount, you know, or a level 58, you can move on to the expansion. You actually have to go through the main scenario quests in order to get it. So even if you're level 30, let's say, but you haven't done the level 20, hang on, I'll fix that. If you haven't done the level 20 main scenario quest, I think that's when you get your mount, is level 20, around there. Yeah, I do have a schedule, actually. It's on Twitch. A pleasure to be fighting at your side once more, Scion. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around, and the victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. No worries. Now, this detached force we've been sent to eliminate has split into smaller squads, the better to conceal themselves within the terrain hereabouts, I imagine. We'll need to split up ourselves as well to cover more ground and make sure we root out all these would-be raiders. And seeing as you're an army unto yourself, I've assigned you your own areas to scour clean of enemy soldiers. Aye, this will be a simple search and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting, Scion. One of the nice things is once you finish the main story, up to 50, then you get flying. Did I? I did unlock the sightseeing log. See if I can find one. I haven't done one yet. So one of the things I would definitely recommend as well, especially I think you're at the right level, is unlocking the challenge log. See right here, the challenge log? It essentially gives you extra experience for doing things you're already doing. Like complete 3 dungeons via the duty roulette. Complete 5 dungeons total. Guild hests, voting when you're in a dungeon. Enemies with your chocobo out, which is another thing you'll get, is you'll get a chocobo. Once you get your mount, like 10 levels later, I think you get the ability to have them fight alongside you in solo content. And there's PvP, fates, leave quests, crafting and gathering. I haven't unlocked treasure hunts, retainers, the gold saucer, etc. But this is just a feather in your cap. Guild hests and leaves, they're pretty nice. The main reason a guild hest is it continues the Hall of the Novice training. Have you done that yet? The Hall of the Novice stuff? Which should be right here. Hall of the Novice. I would definitely do that. Now, if you played MMOs before, it's all going to be pretty basic stuff. The Hall of the Novice is designed to teach you how to play your role. It's like, all right, here's a bunch of exercises to teach you how to be a tank. Here's a bunch of exercises to teach you how to be a healer. Here's, you know, whatever role you have, it'll go through a bunch of things to teach you how to do it. And then the guild hests they add on to that by having you go through all the stuff they taught you how to do, but in an actual group setting. That's one of the things I wish WoW had, was something that actually trained people who have never actually played an MMO before. Oh, I don't remember. They added a challenge arena, kind of. But this isn't challenging at all. It's just a showcase. It's like, hey, here's how to avoid AoEs. Here's how to focus on ads. Here's how to, you know, whatever. It goes through them one at a time. And not only does it give you the knowledge if you didn't already have it, but you actually get some pretty good gear for that level. It doesn't give you everything. It only gives you like maybe 4 or 5 things, but it's usually better than what you have at the time. So it'll give you a nice little boost before you get to level 16. And because around level 16 main scenario quest is when you get access to your first dungeon. paralyzed. Get out of here. My little chocobo help me out? Heck yeah. Yes, and like I said, they both have their perks. There are some things about WoW that I like better. Like I like how, like there's, especially in the old school Realm Reborn, a lot of the zones can get kind of bland because like they all look pretty much the same. Because there's nothing like Zangarmarsh and there's nothing like Netherstorm or anything like that in here. Well, that's just cosmetic stuff. And the reason I got into WoW in the first place, which was my first MMO, was because I played Warcraft 3 back in the day, which I actually just finished Warcraft 3 Reforged, and I uploaded that to YouTube as well. Some of them do, yeah. They at least add, you know, some color. But I mean, it's all, in a sense, it's more realistic, I guess, is what you'd say. Like, there's no like crazy things. There's a couple of crazy ones, but for the most part, it's, you know, like this. Like there's a couple of really cool ones, actually, but I think they're in Heavensward. You seem grim, Scion. I'll take that to mean that between us, more than a few Garleans won't be making it back to the castrum. These Imperials, though, they certainly made us earn our pay. I'd be a happy man if I never had to tussle with another of those Magitech horrors. It is time we bid this war-torn land farewell. I'll contact the 4th and let Lieutenant Alien know that the west is now clear. I'd appreciate it if you would do the same when you report to Lieutenant Edelstein. So, on top of all the other things I like about this game, well, again, like I said before, one of the reasons I like it is because of the story. There's a lot of tedium that goes along with doing some of it, but overall, the story is fantastic. In fact, Heavensward is one of the best stories I've experienced in many. I play a lot of video games. It's one of the best stories I've ever experienced in a video game. Sergeant Earthbiter, what news of the Garleans? The raiding parties are no more, then. Excellent. The Amagina engineers will be most relieved to hear that the plant is no longer in any immediate danger. Thank you again for your assistance. Complete. Grab the next one. You must be anxious for word of your fellows. Lieutenant Alien has reported a sound victory over the main column and informs me that the Scions have already turned their attentions to other duties. All but one, that is, the Rogadin lady with the large axe. It would appear she has chosen to remain at the side of the battle. I know not what task keeps her from returning to civilization, but Northern Sathanal is no place to wander alone, even for a capable sort such as her. I'd certainly feel better about things if you would check in on her before you continue on your way. Now, much like WoW, this game also has, how WoW has transmog, this game has a glamour. So this here, draw weapon. This is one of the steps in the legendary weapon chain. Every game, the Realm Reborn and the expansions, for every class has a form of legendary weapon you can get, and it's a chain. You don't just get it and you have it. Like in this game, it's like maybe 8 or 10 steps of things you have to do in order to get the maximum version of it, and it looks different every single time. Some of them are better looking than others. They're pretty dang strong, but they are a pain to work on. They are expensive, cost several million gil, especially since there's some items you need to get from one item at very least of each of the crafting classes. Like there's 8 of them. Like a level 50 item, high quality as well, from carpenter, blacksmith, etc. Or like that's just one step. And the other steps include just killing a bunch of things, doing a bunch of dungeons. That's, like I said, it's quite a bit of stuff. Look at that axe. That's just so cool looking. I like how she's a warrior.
second.
Oh, there's some voice acting here.
The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe. I know. As Urianger never tires of reminding me, an axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one. And it's not as if it stopped me picking up a quill, is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea.
I have a bigger cup, too.
Him and my excruciatingly stiff childhood friend. Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it? Aye, that ought to do it. So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry. Just enough ether to make it interesting. Did you see that? The way the crystal glowed? The siphon works, I'm happy to say. With a few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether, which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
Have you tried out the golden saucer yet?
He senses me. A useful talent.
Ooh, who's there?
An Ascian. Are they onto us?
By your brand, I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan, keeper of knowledge, seeker of truth, meddler.
I don't know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
Your instincts serve you well. But come, be not unsettled on my account. That lovely brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath. Let me direct my words to one who understands them. We meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales.
You have a good one as well, Panda.
And you have long been a thorn in my side.
I'll catch you next time.
I suffered the overweening presence of La Habrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
Oh, bugger.
Do settle down. You must concede that I acted in self-defense. But what's this? I do not sense the blessing of light. Oh dear. Could it be that frail Hydelin has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee. Shorn of light as you are no longer a threat. And better yet, the seal is broken. Now is the time to claim the staff. With it in my grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
What did that bastard want with us?
Explain.
Nabriales, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet. Unconscious.
Did you not hear him talking either? Or were you knocked out? You heard that.
Just talking about it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day.
I explained it to him.
Must be quite a
Or
staff.
her, sorry.
Oh, gods. He means Tupsimati, Master Louis Suar's staff. Minfilia's in danger. We have to get back to the Rising Stones.
Oh no. Go, go, go. Teleport faster. Use me. Oh, creepy music. You're here. Master Louisoix's staff is kept in the solar, isn't it? Quickly now. And it's gone.
You two.
So, you were able to divine my intent. What now, warrior of light? Ah, but that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull, and quite incapable of barring my entry.
What do you mean?
You truly do not know? Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you.
We're just gonna pose here for a while, with our weapons drawn.
The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain. My kind, I say, though it had no power over the likes of Elidibus and La Habrea. Being of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on. But I need look no longer. Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
Could have waited for everyone to be asleep or something.
Rejoining? Then it was your doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
You will not harm her!
Moonbreeder!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting? Ah, but I forget. My words fall upon deaf ears.
The staff is but a broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
What use? You mean to say that all this time you kept the key, never knowing what it was you possessed? The staff Tupsimati, or rather the stone tablet it bears, is host to a great power. Together with the horn, it can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings. How else do you think Louisoix was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
If I did not know before, you may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
Insufferable woman. I would happily end your miserable life here and now. Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
After them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
New trial. This, there it is. 7 minutes. Well, while I'm waiting, let's go back to Upper Lenosia. Keep working on these hunts. I'm just trying to get them off the list. Like, they're not going to do me much good. Hunts are useless, almost entirely useless once you get level 50. Because they don't give you really enough experience to worry about. And there are no more hunts after level 50. At least not these ones in the hunting log. Well, ideally, you'd be doing the hunts alongside everything else just to make sure you're actually getting something out of it. What's going on with this bait? Still got a gold for that. Awesome. Alright. Let's get back to the hunts we were working on. There are 2 of them. The Mumble Jaw Sophist and these Urignites. That one's done. Alright, let's see if we can find any more of these sophists. There's one. That one is finished. Alright, next is South Shroud. I think this one's by Camp Tranquil. I think it's an adamant toys. It's the big tortoises. Maybe it might be pronounced adamantus because it's based on a tortoise, but it doesn't sound right. Yep, right there. We got a bunch more. I only need one more anyway, so. This one says Snake Molt, which is this little area right here. Deep Void Death Mouse. What a name. Alright, one more treant, I think. Alright, that one's done. Next is Southern Thanalan. Out in the desert. And a fallen wizard out here as well. Oh, never mind. We're going to do this first. Let's do it. I shall not toy with you as Brea. Witness the terrible might of the true servant of Zodiac. This music is so cool. Writhing powers revenate from the deepest pits summon abyss of the abyss. I summon thee. What are you doing? Insatiable hunger of the void, devour all light and return this world to perfect darkness. Perfect Dark, that's the name of another game. Oh, for some reason I wasn't actually targeting him. Jeez, dang. That hit pretty dang hard. Keep teleporting and keep doing the end of days. Lame. Where did he go this time? Oh, we're doing this again. Ow. There's some mechanic behind this, but it looks like you get one and then you have to hit another, but I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head what's the correct order. But it doesn't really matter, we're all alive, so that's good. Ow. Wake 3. As Zodiac's name, I commend thee. River of time, mire than enemy in thy sluggish flow. He has power over time itself? That's what Mephilia said. He shall wither in the merciless embrace of eternity. I'm gonna heal me, or what's going on over here? I have a feeling we didn't do that correctly, but that's fine. Another end of days? Really? Ow! And we succeeded anyway. Hup. Secret Asian man. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, I got more spirit bond going on over here. Let's get those taken care of so I don't run out, or get more of that without any need to. Hang on one second. Apparently someone called me and left me a voicemail. Deleted. What's this other one? All right. Let's exit and see the next piece. I got 4 combinations for that. Heck yeah. You get more combinations the more you know and do your job right. Usually tanks and healers get it. But
You're safe. Thank the 12.
You may have bested me this day, but what of the next? What of all the days to come?
I'll take you down every day.
Remember, light no longer holds sway here. I may return whensoever I wish, again and again and again. Eventually, you will falter, and the staff will be mine. Until next time, scions.
Quickly, before he leaves, nods. Let's throw some nods out.
There will be no next time. This is the end.
What trickery is this? No. No. Cannot. No.
That voice acting, though.
Use Tube Samati to gather ether. Quickly, before he breaks free.
I take my time to nod, though. Very important, but...
Concentrate. Call to mind the time you struck down La Habrea with the Blade of Light. Why won't it work? Is it because we lack the blessing of light?
Damn it. So much ether. And it still isn't enough.
Fools! No mortal prison can contain me! I shall make you pay for your insolence!
Please, Mother Heidelin, hearken to our plea. Lend us your divine light. Why can you not hear us? Do our words no longer reach you?
If only we had a bit more ether.
Only you had that siphon. Had all that ether in it.
Frida, what are you doing?
Master Louis, I understand now the choice you made. In death, there is life. Farewell, Urianger. You daft old coot.
You're not doing anything to stop her, Amphilia.
Moonbreeder! No! You mustn't!
What? No! It cannot end! I am eternal! I am immortal!
Moonbreeder. She's gone. You did it, my friend. The Ascian is dead.
Whatever it takes, guys, right?
This
Whatever it
device
takes.
is a legacy of Moonbreeder's toils and sacrifice. I shall hold on to it for safekeeping.
Minfilia, are you all right?
And there everyone is.
I am.
Oh, we were surveying northern Thanalan when we received the distress call. We returned as swiftly as we were able.
And you all did it at the exact same time.
It seems you have everything in hand, however.
What happened here? Where is Moonbreeder?
Explain, 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 explain.
She gave her life to temper the blade of light. I have no words.
Rather than await the inevitable, she took her fate into her own hands.
Does Urianger know?
This is the swagger. What's up, guys?
My friend, there is something I must tell you.
I heard all, my lady. The moon sinketh, taking her leave of the heavens, yet her passing heraldeth the coming of a new day. Moonbreeder hath fulfilled her destiny, hath she not? Long ago, far across the seas in the Charlayan motherland, Moonbreeder and I did study under the sage tutelage of Master Louis Soir. Full oft did he impress upon us that knowledge existeth to serve the greater good. His sentiment, however, was contrary to the nation's policy of neutrality, which censured intercedence in the affairs of foreign lands. In spite of vehement opposition, he founded the Circle of Knowing, and journeyed hither to the heart of Eorzea. Through his noble sacrifice was the realm spared its doom. Yet this great soul, whom all should rightly have honored, was branded a pariah in his own land. His peers did accuse him of forsaking his duty as a man of learning, and of meddling in the course of history. When he left Charlayan behind, Master Louis Soir gave no word to signal his intent to Moonbreeder. Close as they were, as master and disciple, she was deeply wounded by the sudden exclusion from his confidence. Above all, however, she was confused. Try as she might, she could ill comprehend her master's motive. The slanders that were heaped upon him after his passing served only to inflame the turmoil within her. For years upon end, she knew not what to believe. Torn as she was twixt the man whom she revered and the man who forsook her and his duty both.
The Louisoix I knew would never forsake his duty, much less one of his own.
This I know full well, my lady. 'Twas not for want of love that Master Louisoix hid his intent. He but desired that Moonbreeder discover her own path, free of the shadow of his influence. Long did I contemplate revealing the truth to her, and long did I hold my peace. After all, was it not Master Louisoix's wish that she come to the truth unaided? I told myself it was, and resolved to let her suffer. Knowingly did I deny my friend the comfort she craved. And now she hath gone to her rest, with doubt still in her heart. Speakest thou in earnest? Did Moonbreeder truly come to understand Master Louisoix's will before the end? The realization hath set her free. She may now find the peace which hath for so long eluded her. Oh, Moonbreeder, my dearest, how I shall miss thee.
Moonbreeder gave her life that we might possess the means to defeat the Ascians. Her sacrifice must not be in vain. Let us continue her work on the Blade of Ether and see it to completion.
My lady, I would mourn Moonbreeder in mine own way. I beg your permission to return to the Waking Sands.
Of course, my friend. Take all the time you require. We shall be here should you have need of us.
Very sad. Oriange is not happy about that. All the people acting like they knew her beforehand. Maybe they did. I think they did, actually. Because even Ida knew who she was. Never have I seen Oriange so utterly defeated. No one should be made to suffer such grief. We shall gather in the Charlene Manor to celebrate Moonbreeder's life and mourn her passing. I'll just pick one. As Moonbreeder was a native of Charlene, I feel it is only fitting that we gather before the Mark of the Scholar. Are you familiar with the stone? It is a monument found at Wraithfrost and is sacred to Thaliak, our guardian deity of the City of Learning. There shall we pray for our dear friend's soul and bid her a peaceful return to the light of the Mother Crystal. It's empty in here. Is everyone going? Perhaps. Mr. Frowny. You mean Oriange right now? I just go straight there. Won't let me go over all this stuff. Yeah, beautiful. I don't have to fight through that whole area. I go over? Nope, okay. I'll have to go around this.
Forgive me, Moonbreeder. Had I been quicker or wiser, but I was not, and you paid the price. But you would not suffer us to wallow in our sorrow, would you? You would tell us to pick ourselves up and get on with it. And so we shall. We shall defend this realm and her people to the last.
Life for death, a fair exchange. Other bargains will be struck.
Back to the Rising Stones. So beautiful at night out here. This tower is just a beacon of light out there. So much crystals. Entrance to the Solar. I'm going to talk with here. Just Minfilia. Alright. Just you. Although we've said our farewells, the pall of sadness has diminished but little. Forgive me. As antecedent, 'tis my job to be the pillar of strength for all others to lean upon. Yet I also believe the grief we feel now is precious in its own way, and not to be lightly swept aside. Do you not agree? It is as if a dagger has been thrust into my breast. But 'tis a pain we must learn to bear if we are to forge ahead with our duty. The battles we have fought have taken the lives of so many. Louisoix, Moonbreeda, our fellows at the Waking Sands. Their spirit and dedication to our cause, however, will never be lost as long as we rise to fight once more. I hardly need remind you of this, of course. 'Tis for my own benefit that I repeat these words, a reaffirmation of mine own chosen path. If I do not rebuild the foundation of my resolve, I am likely to collapse in a fit of weeping. My apologies again, Malchezair. There is no other to whom I can display such weakness. You've known other people for a lot longer than I have. Okay. You are my pillar of strength, and I fear I shall have need of your steadfast presence in the days to come. A victory won, a comrade lost, to honor the fallen, the living for Deveron, towards the light of a new day. Have you a moment, Malchezair? I believe Ida wished a word with you. I should consider it a personal favor if you would lend a sympathetic ear to her troubles. She has not been herself since Mubrida's passing, and my heart aches to see her so downcast. If you would insist. Hey, it's Malchezair. Great. She's always so peppy. Oh, it's no use. I'm trying to stay positive, but just hard, you know? The thing is, I knew Moon would tell me off if she saw me moping around like this. Which is why I decided to cheer myself up by getting her a special flower. I placed an order for a moon daisy with Rowena a little while ago, and it's ready to be picked up. Trouble is, I find Rowena a bit difficult at the best of times, and well, this isn't one of them. I know it's silly, but I just can't face it at the moment. So I was wondering, do you think you could maybe collect it for me? I had the coin to pay for the flower right here. You know, I probably could have asked me to go get it, and I could have gone anywhere in Eorzea in 2 seconds. Thank you so much. I'll be waiting for you and the daisy at Wraithfrost. Okay. Excuse me. Twinsies. What can I do for you today, adventurer? Eldritch trinket to trade? Hand over the flower payment. Eh? They've got you running errands now? Them Scions really know how to make the most of your talents, don't they? Send to the savior of Eorzea to bleed the market. Fine use of your time, that is. Seriously though, you best learn how to say no, or they'll have you milking out the chocobo stables next. Anyway, what was he here to pick up? The moon daisy, was it? Here then, take it. And tell Ida, lass, I've got a wide selection of headwear in stock if she ever decides to replace that dowdy old mask of hers. Gods knows she needs to. Ready for a flying behemoth? Yeah! I remember when there were only certain mounts that could fly, now it's like every mount can fly. I'm just chilling up there. Look at me. What's up, guys? I'm cool. I'm riding a behemoth. What of it? Rowena can be so annoying. She just will not take no for an answer. Every time I visit her, she insists I replace my visor with something more fashionable. And when I tell her I like it just fine the way it is, she says it again, and then again, and then again. It drives me crazy. What I mean to say is, I really appreciate you doing this for me. So anyway, let's see it. Often hung to rafters, trees, or other elevated locations to represent the celestial body when performing holy rituals to the goddess Menfina during daylight hours. Lubrita loved these things, you know. I hope that somewhere, somehow, she knows I'm still thinking of her.
I'll never forget you, Moon. None of us will.
Didn't Thancred already drop a bunch of those flowers when we were here last time? Or was that a different type of flower? It looks the same, but whatever.
The song riseth to a crescendo.
We heard that one.
Is that what I think it is?
Hello, can you hear me? We have received grave tidings from Ishgard. Pray return to the Rising Stones at once.
Are we actually going to just show up, or do I have to fly? Be nice if it teleported me. Like I say every single time. At least it started me down where it showed me ending, as opposed to be like, hey, start where you started, even though you saw you running away. Slow burn. The exterminator. Everyone's playing right now. My apologies for the interruption. I was deeply saddened to learn of Mbrita's passing. Her loss will be sorely felt. Alas, recent developments in Ishgard leave us little time to mourn. The envoy from Kurthus will soon arrive, and we must hasten to hear her report. The envoy is here. I thank you for receiving me at such short notice. Time is of the essence, so I'd forego the usual pleasantries, if I may. Certainly. You come with news of the Dravanians? Aye, the dragons have begun their attack in earnest. The first wave reached the Central Highlands a short while ago, and battle was joined soon thereafter. Sir Emmerich himself sallied forth with a contingent of temple knights and several companies of the noble house's finest. Though the beasts were ultimately forced into retreat, our victory, if such it may be called, came at the cost of many of our own. Too many. We will not withstand a second wave should the Dravanians renew their assaults. You paint a grim picture, my lady. It is reinforcements you seek, then? We do. Though it pricks our pride, it is plain we cannot protect Ishgard with our ranks thus thinned by the Horde. Sir Emmerich would meet with you to discuss the possibility of enlisting your aid. Very well, I shall depart for Kurthus at once. I must warn you, however, that the involvement of the Crystal Braves is by no means assured. Our commitment to quelling the unrest in Ul'dah must take precedence. It is with such contingencies in mind that I must make another request. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are known for sharing close ties with all three of the grand companies of Eorzea. Would you consent to plead our case to their leaders? Though I will gladly appeal to the grand companies on their behalf, I dare not promise a favorable reply. You need say no more. Considering our past dealings with the Eorzean Alliance, I can well imagine how our plea will be received. But the fate of Ishgard hangs in the balance. We must explore every avenue still open to us, no matter how unpromising. I see. Very well. I shall send envoys to each of the allied nations and have them present your request directly to the heads of the grand companies. In the event that your plea does receive a favorable answer, I know that any support is certain to be conditional. Demands will be made of Ishgard. That is only to be expected. Rest assured that I speak with Sir Emmerich's authority in this matter, and that our actions are fully sanctioned by the Holy See. Which brings me to my final request, a personal appeal to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Commander much desires to speak with you, regardless of your fellow's involvement. I'm gonna nod. You faced Midgard Stormer and survived. Anything you can share of your experience may yield us an advantage over our foe. There's the nod. Thank you. You wear the mantle of a hero well. It would seem the road leads us both to Camp Dragonhead. Seek me out when you arrive, Malkazer. Load, load, load.
The sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. Only then will the cycle be broken.
You just destroyed all the wards.
Brothers and sisters of the heavens, we raise our voices and join you in the chorus. The sinner's feeble magics are undone. Come, claim your retribution.
They make her seem like a villain with that laugh. Alright. Oh, look at all the behemoths. Can I jump, please? Thank you. It seems I was the swifter, Malkazer. You too, however, have arrived with time to spare, for our host has yet to make an appearance. The murmurings about camp tell of some manner of trouble at the gates of judgment. In the Lord Commander's absence, I suggest we visit the place and find out what is afoot. Afoot. Speak. Well, there are several people to talk to over here. Bothered Bowman. The gates of judgment are much more than mere doors. They are the outermost layer of Ishgard's magical wards. If our first line of defense can be so easily shattered... ... What is this? Tenterhooked. Whatever that is. Temple Knight. When I laid eyes upon Lady Iceheart, I felt the marrow freeze within my bones. Dyspeptic. Heretic scum, how dare they meddle with our divine protections? I shall rid our nation of their blasphemy, even if it means cutting them down one by one. We need not fret over much. There are still several layers of arcane protection that shield the city from invasion. Mother will be fine. Also, that was just the first line of defense. Okay. Who had seen the heretic struck the first and most telling blow against Ishgard. Scions, we expected you at Camp Dragonhead. My apologies. We chanced to hear that there was trouble at the gates, and we thought it prudent to investigate the cause. Then you have learned of the heretic's treachery. Lady Iceheart led a force of her followers against our defenders and came close enough to dispel the first of our wards. But let us speak more of this back at camp. Sir Emmerich awaits you. So we passed him? Lady Iceheart has grown bold indeed if she would risk direct action against the city. Come, let us do as we are bid and return to Camp Dragonhead. Lord Harshaphon will know where Sir Emmerich means to receive us. Probably that intercessory again. He's not going to see us at the bathhouse or anything like that. I'm just going to fly. Are you sure? Oh, okay. That's per level. So I got all these, and then none of those. Okay. I was saying I got 0. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. It is reassuring indeed to behold the countenance of a friend when one's homeland teeters upon the very brink of disaster. Though a single misstep could send us plunging into the abyss, your heroic presence stokes the flames of courage within my heart. But you did not come to Dragonhead to listen to me prattling. The Lord Commander has arrived and would treat with you in the intercessory. That's what I thought. Greetings, sir. Shall I show you inside? Yes, you can. More voice acting? Oh. I thank you for coming with such haste and apologize for my absence. Suffice it to say, Lady Iceheart and her heretics have much to answer for. Yes, we are but recently returned from the gates of judgment ourselves. Given the circumstances, we quite understand if you would prefer to postpone our appointed audience. Words. On the contrary, Master Alphino, I think it more important than ever that this meeting take place. Rest assured, I shall return to my post in Ishgard's walls the moment our business is concluded. Before we move on to the subject of reinforcements, however, I would introduce you to a close friend and stalwart ally, Estinian. May I present to you Ishgard's Azure Dragoon. An impressive title, though I confess I know precious little of the Order of Dragoons. They are formidable warriors all, yet even among such masters of the lance, Estinian is without equal. He, out of all the warriors of Ishgard, was chosen to wield the power of dragons and may thus contend with any Dravanian. You flatter me overmuch, Lord Commander. So you are the adventurer of whom they spoke. I see now why my blood fair sang in anticipation of our meeting. Well, now that we have all been introduced, let us proceed to the matter at hand. I would share with you what we have learned of Iceheart's design as confessed to the heretics taken captive after the assault on the gates. It would seem that Lady Iceheart and the Dravanians share a common goal, the reclamation of Nidhogg's stolen eye. Nidhogg, one of the 7 great worms. His name features prominently in your nation's history. Although once defeated by the hero Haldreth, the beast is said to have terrorized Kurthus since Ishgard's founding. Aye, many are the scars our walls bear from Nidhogg's relentless efforts to raise the city. The trophy Haldreth plucked for the bested worm's skull, known simply as the Eye, is a treasured relic of Ishgard and one possessed of untold power. Should it ever be returned to Nidhogg, the dread creature would be restored to the height of his strength, and then no wall or ward we could erect would be stout enough to deny him. My vengeful son hath waged war against Ishgard for 1,000 years. No mortal mind could comprehend the depths of his rancor. Thanks, Midgardsormr. The eye itself is secreted deep within the vault. It is kept under heavy guard, surrounded at all times by men and women who have proven their loyalty to the Holy See. But though stout walls and sharp blades may suffice to discourage the heretics, the dragons are another matter. There are individuals within the Dravanian horde whom an entire company of knights would labor to repel, say nothing of Nidhogg himself. Nor does age rob them of their strength. Through the endless march of years, the dragons endure, patient, calculating, inexorable. You must understand, these creatures do not share our perception of time. And that is especially true of the great worms. They who spend centuries in slumber, only to wake and resume their campaign as if mere hours had passed. It has been 20 years since Nidhogg last darkened our skies, 20 years for him to gather his strength and for us to bolster our defenses. And now, just as he seems primed to return, the heretics strike at the gates. You believe Lady Iceheart is in league with the creature, then? Of that we cannot be certain. Though we know the heretics cover the eye, we have been unable to determine their plans for it. Such questions aside, we must needs address the ragged hole their mistress has been seen fit to rend in Ishgard's protections. 'Tis a weakness the Dravanians are not like to leave untested. So it would seem. You have described your plight in admirable detail, Lord Commander, yet I cannot help but wonder at your candor. Why share such sensitive information with us? I shall speak plain. Ishgard has need of allies, and I would have you bolster our front lines in readiness for the coming battle against the dragons. This much I expected. Unlike our arrangement concerning the Keeper of the Lake, however, only you stand to benefit from our assistance in this matter. I fail to see why we should intervene in a conflict which concerns only Ishgard and Dravania. Get to it, Alphino. You tell him. When the Eorzean Alliance requested Ishgard's assistance during Operation Archon, you refused us. Does it not seem grossly unjust to demand that we now risk our lives in your private war? I make no attempt to defend my country's conduct. I only ask that you consider what would follow were Ishgard to fall. Having razed our city to the ground, the Horde would have little cause to linger, and most would return to their lairs in Dravania. Soon thereafter, the ruins of Kurthus would be buried in snow, and the land would become a sole province of beasts and beastmen. Until the Garlean's arrival, that is. For you may be certain that the Empire would not hesitate to claim Kurthus. They would not even have to draw steel. An imperial province sharing a border with Mordona. 7 hells. Very well. We will assist you in repelling the dragons. The roar of a great worm may have shaken the firmament, but we of Eorzea will not abandon our Ishgardian brothers to face the coming horde alone. Nor did I ever think you would. Now, upon the matter of the roar. Allow me, Sir Emmerich. With the power of the Eye, I have become the vessel of Nidhogg's strength. His essence has stolen into my very blood. Fear not. I am in full control of my faculties, I assure you, and the Eye itself is of no relevance to this tale. It is not essential that I bear it with me wheresoever I go. Its lingering influence does, however, allow me to hear Nidhogg's voice. Then the worm who roared was Nidhogg, aye. He means to hurl his horde against Danifan's collar and shatter the remaining wards that protect the city. There can be no doubt, the worm has summoned his minions to war. Though the circumstances are far from ideal, this desperate endeavor will at least provide us an opportunity to bring the sister states of Eorzea together in common cause. Sir Emmerich was more ruthless in his negotiations than I had anticipated. I suppose one must give no quarter when one's home is at stake. But did you see the look on his face when he formally requested our assistance? Though the Lord Commander has long campaigned for Ishgard to open its gates to outsiders, I suspect the softening of the Holy See's attitude towards foreign cooperation comes as something of a bittersweet victory. The days ahead promise to be interesting indeed. If we are to aid the Ishgardians in this war of theirs, preparations will have to be made, and soon. Before proceeding, however, we must needs return to the Rising Stones and make our report to the antecedent. We're moving right along with this. It's going pretty quick, I think. Bum, 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 bum. Clicked on you. What's going on here?
Alphino, it is good to see you. Tell me, what have you learned?
Pray summon the others. Everyone must hear my report.
So this was all but a taste of what's to come.
Indeed. The main host advances upon Ishgard as we speak.
Whose vaunted defenses have been nullified.
Shorn of its wards, the city will bear the full force of Nidhogg's fury.
All those people.
Alphino is right. The Dravanians cannot be allowed to prevail. If Ishgard falls, all of Eorzea will suffer the consequences.
Then you agree that we have no choice but to intervene. For the good of the realm, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn and the Crystal Braves must join the defense of Ishgard.
Let there be no ambiguity about what has been proposed. We would be directly intervening in the war. But if all here believe the cause to be just, then to war we shall go.
Hear, hear.
The path we now embark upon is perilous, but I pray you will walk with us to the end.
There it is. There's the nod.
For those we have lost, for those we can yet save.
Then it is settled. I shall inform the Council of our intentions and request that they contribute their own forces to the defense of Ishgard.
Good luck with that. He is suspicious of those two. I bid the Archons travel to their assigned nations. Should the members of the Alliance agree to pledge Grand Company soldiers to Ishgard's cause, our comrades will be on hand to act as intermediaries for the duration of the conflict. A small matter of persuading Alliance leaders to grant such support, I have leave to Alphino. For you, my friend, a different task awaits. I would have you reach out to your fellow adventurers and gather what allies you may for the coming siege. I would also have you consider the matter of our own security. Revenant's Toll is but a short flight from the snowfields of Kurthus. It is not unimaginable that the fighting may spill across the border. Pray, brief Slaffborn on the brewing conflict and discuss potential contingencies. The frontier settlers must be prepared for aught that might wing its way over our walls. I only hope that such precautions prove unnecessary. Before you leave, I suggest you have Tataru accompany you. She has a talent for administration and a firm grasp of the practical challenges that we may encounter. I guess. Speak to Tataru. Explain. We are rather close to Kurthus, aren't we? We best see to our own defenses and take a stock of our supplies. Oh, and we'll also need to have beds and bandages laid out just in case. A good receptionist is ready for any eventuality. Let's go, Malchazar. I have 101 things to discuss with Slaffborn. Dropping my vape over here. Letting it fall over on my desk. No bueno. Ba-ba. Over here, let's update this. There we go. Let's see if we can get to our next goal. All right, Slaffborn. I appreciate the warning. If war is coming to Kurthus, then the toll must be made ready. I'll increase the number of patrols and lookouts immediately. I'll also see about finding a room for an infirmary, as well as a temporary housing for victims of the conflict. Ishgard has done well by us in the past, and I would return the favor. But as for rounding up volunteers for the fighting itself, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. I'll not send my fellow guild members to die on Ishgardian soil, and I'm certain headquarters will say the same. There will be no official adventurers guild presence at this siege. That said, each adventurer is of course free to do as he or she will. I shall have a word with some of my more manageable or capable colleagues on your behalf, and you might try your luck here in Revenant's Toll. I dare say there are a few stout souls about town who will answer your call to arms. First, speak to Tataru. Let's get started, shall we? We have a town to rouse. Accomplished adventurer. Nope. Spare me your talk of glory and fame. I'm not in the habit of volunteering for lost causes. I have survived this long by trusting my instincts, and my instincts tell me to stay well away from Ishgard. Well, dang. Why do they need to make a cutscene out of that? Oh, that's why. Him. Yes. Ishgard sounds like she's in a right mess, but that ain't what I wanted to talk to you about. I needed to cast your mind back to the scuffle with the Empire out by the processing plant. A lad from the little Alamigo by the name of Wilrid was there at the fort that day, and I want to know if you've seen him since. Have you? I haven't seen him. Yeah, we haven't seen Wilrid in a while. Gosh damn it, I feared as much. No one's bloody seen him. It's like the ground opened up and swallowed him whole. But that ain't all. Around the time Wilrid stopped turning up for duty, then black market weapons went missing from our vaults in Ul'dah. So now, of course, half the braves suspect the lad of making off with the goods. Folk like to believe our company is a disciplined fighting force, but as you and me both know, it's no more than a motley collection of mercenaries, adventurers, and Grand Company veterans. The only thing that binds us together is some vague oath about fighting for the freedom of all. That and the steady pay. Now, compared to most others in this crew, Wilrid's a fresh-faced novice, a bleeding whelp amongst wolves. But the boy's got passion. When he talked about being a guardian of the Eorzea, he bloody well meant it. A lad like him wouldn't rob us blind and bugger off like that. He ain't the type. And then, and this is just between you and me, mind, there's the fact that the lad wanted to tell me about something queer he'd noticed in the ledgers. Something about the Braves' numbers not adding up. Aye, there's a villain at the end of this trail I've stumbled on, and I'll bet me good eye it ain't young Wilrid. Anyway, you've got a war to wage, so I'll let you get on. I just thought someone should know. I'll be seeing you, Malkazar. Later, dude. My flying. Everything is all loaded until you have me go to the cutscene. Thanks. Adept Adventurer. This one will just talk to me, right? So Ishgard seeks sellswords to bolster its ranks, eh? Well, I'm not sure I like the sound of the siege. Those nobles will surely be generous with their rewards. But I pledge myself to regard Revenant's Toll. Modest work though it is, I am willing to break the terms of my contract. What to do, what to... Excuse me. Where are you? Up. Austere adventure. Sell me a blade to the Ishgardians. Well, them dragons are a fearsome lot, but I'd slay my fair share if the coin was good. I worked for one of them knights before, you know. Watched me like a bloody hawk you did. Still, I'd put up with a lot worse than that for a heavy purse. Angular adventure. Volunteer my services in the defense of Ishgard? I think not. Dragons claim the lives of every one of my brothers. I do not mean to offer them mine. It was to escape such a fate that I took up the mantle of adventure in the first place. I would sooner die in the pursuit of fortune than huddle behind an icy wall. Well, we have our answer. Wait. I don't even need to go inside. Looks like it's outside, actually. There she is. I didn't even see her. There you are, Malgazer. So, did you sway any hearts? Explain, explain. 1 or 2, eh? Well added to mine, that makes 3 or 4, not including Slathborn's friends. We won't have the largest company in the army, but I'd say 1 Revenant's Toll veteran is worth a dozen clinking knights at least. Oh, I've been so caught up with recruiting that I almost forgot. There's been a word from Alphino. Apparently the Alliance leaders are convening in Ul'dah to discuss Ishgard's plight, and they've requested your presence as usual. Anyway, you'd best make your way to Ul'dah or you'll be late. Alphino said that he would meet you on the Royal Promenade. Keep rocking and rolling. Royal Promenade, so I need to go to the Chamber of Rule. Bum, 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 bum. My apologies for calling you away from your tasks. I had hoped to proceed with these negotiations 1 leader at a time, but it seems the urgent requests for an audience had prompted a gathering of the council. Needless to say, I felt obliged to attend. The Alliance leaders are already seated within. Let us join them, shall we? Oh. Wonder what they're going to say. And if it's voice acted.
We are well aware of Ishgard's dilemma, and we agree with your assessment.
Then I trust there are no objections to the Crystal Brave's intervention.
Ul'dah has not.
Gridania does not object.
The Crystal Braves are yours to command, Alphino. Do what you will. We shall pray for your success.
It was my hope that you would offer more substantial aid than prayer. I know it is within your means.
Do not presume that you have knowledge of our every concern. The Garleans and the Beast Tribes are but 2 of many. We are not in a position to contribute greatly to the defense of Ishgard, not when our own homes are still under siege.
We dare not leave our interests in Cartano undefended as well. Teleji Adeleji and his ilk would seize control of the territories in our absence.
But then you guys are turning into Ishgard, where you're caring about your own stuff as opposed to helping them.
The enemy is at their gates, and you would cower behind yours?
No one is cowering, boy. We will offer what support we can.
Aye, support. A handful of men and no more.
Would that we could commit more than a token force to this cause. Yet there are others to whom you might turn. The free companies ever want for work.
Ah, yes. The free companies. They're not like to turn you down.
You mean
I beg
other
your
people?
pardon? You would entrust the survival of Ishgard to sell swords? Crises like these are the very reason why this alliance was formed. It is our duty to aid our fellow man.
My duty is to my country and my people. If you expect us to place the welfare of a foreign power above our own, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Lest you doubt, Limsa comes first, then the Alliance, and finally, circumstances permitting, Ishgard and the rest. If you cannot understand so simple a concept, then you have no place at this table.
She's rude. She's right, but she's rude.
Forgive me, Admiral. I was careless in my choice of words.
I suggest you assemble a party of elite adventurers, assuming you haven't already. Your fellows served us well during Operation Archon. I dare say they will do so again.
As in, I'm going to be playing with a bunch of other players.
If I may, Your Grace, I wish to propose a redistribution of forces. If we entrust the security of Uldar to the Brass Blades for a time, we can dispatch a larger force to Ishgard. Your Grace?
Yes. Yes, of course. Do what you will.
Is Her Grace not feeling well?
To the best of my knowledge, Her Grace is in perfect health.
I see. Carry on.
Everyone suspects something. There he is. Perfect. Didn't have to wait too long for that one. Once again, I owe an apology. It seems you have been conscripted into leading a contingent of adventurers on yet another mission of inestimable danger. But I fear we have been left with the little alternative. We cannot well abandon Lord Harshfall and Sir Emmerich to their fate. We must abide by the Council's decision, as short-sighted as it is, and strive to fulfill our roles as the Eorzea's guardians. Captain Ilbert, what news? Then the assault has begun. We have but this moment concluded our audience with the Alliance leaders. Move our forces into position. Your unit will join House Durandare at the Steel Vigil. Man the cannons alongside the knights and thin the Dravanian horde ere they descend upon Ishgard. I'll join you as soon as I am able. Alcazar, I'd have you and your adventurer allies bolster the defenses at the Steps of Faith. Report first to Sir Marceline at the gates of judgment, and he will direct you to where you need it most. May the gods grant us victory. Time for a fight, time for a fight. Alrighty. Going the wrong way. Pro move. I'm a pro gamer. You are the appointed captain of the Sellsword contingent? Then welcome. There is no shortage of blade work to be done. As we speak, Dravanian skirmishing parties are harrying positions across the Central Highlands. I have assigned the Crystal Braves and your fellow adventurers to contain those scattered attacks, and for the present, I would have you join them. This is, of course, merely a precursor to the assault on Ishgard proper. A wily serpent seeks to divide and confuse our forces, but he will not be so easily drawn out of position. The Temple Knights will remain on the Steps of Faith and continue our preparations. When the Horde arrives in force, they shall face a wall of Ishgardian steel. Report back to me once their advanced skirmishers are slain. Go fight random groups of dragons. That's what it's saying. It's going to be a purple spot. Yep, purple spot. Looks like that's what I'm fighting. Come on. Let's get my chocobo back out. Did it level up at all? It did. All right. Ooh, I can give him... a new ability, which I will do. Now I get to go fight them over on the other side. Get up to speed. There we go. And more dragons. Oh, big dragon. Well, bigger dragon. And report to Sir Marceline. Do we have to go on the other side? Yeah. Huh. Stupid. Gonna come in the top? Alright. What news, adventurer? The reinforcements decimated, you say? Dravanian devils, damn their scaly hides. Hold fast to your grief and fury, sir. We will avenge the deaths of your fellows in the battle to come. Ere you commit yourself to the siege, you should know what it is you are tasked with defending. Beyond the gates of judgment lie the steps of faith, a great bridge of stone that leads directly to the city of Ishgard. More than simply a means to cross a sea of clouds, the bridge serves as a foundation for the arcane wards that form the barrier we call Danafin's Collar. Alas, in dispelling the barrier's outermost layer, the thrice-damned witch Iceheart stripped the bridge of its protection, and thus are the dragons now able to land unhindered upon the steps of faith. Should the Dravanians just succeed in destroying the remainder of the wards, the winged devils will be free to swarm within the city itself. Needless to say, we cannot suffer that to happen. It shall be our task as defenders to prevent any harm from coming to those parts of the bridge wherein the wards are sealed. All now rests on us, adventurer. Lead your comrades out into the steps of faith and prepare to meet the horde. May the fury guide your blades. Sweet, another trial. Steps of faith. And in the meantime, Southern Thanalan. Continue doing these this hunting log. Is this the same fate? They just happen to have a bunch of sandworms in one spot, so it's perfect to get that hunt done. Yep, and that is done. Oh, out of here. Yeah, get away from me. Come on. Once you get out of combat, it'll regenerate pretty dang fast, so don't worry about it. There we go. So what's left on this one is the Fallen Wizard. I just forgot where they are. It's in the says Sigoli Desert. I don't think they're here. I think they're actually there. That doesn't sound right either. Ah. This area, I think. Fallen Pikeman, Fallen Pikeman, Fallen Wizard. There we are. Is it? There we go. Next is Outer Lenosia. Oh, oops, I didn't do that. Let's go to Iron Lake first. Oh, never mind. Might as well finish this one up before we go in. Getting more experience from these than I'm doing the quest at level 50. Huh. Okay. One more at Central Kurth. Oh, actually, where I just was. Exciting. Okay, so they are in Providence Point, so they're going to be up here. If I remember correctly, they're actually down in this little crack. Yep. See if I can finish this hunt before the queue pops. I need a fourth. Side? There's one. And something above us is connected. It's silly. Nice. Very nice. Now we're on to rank 5. Are there any here while I'm here? 1. Boulder Downs. Way down in there. Alright, I'm at almost 7.5 minutes time elapsed for this queue. Average wait time less than 5 minutes. Methinks that there might be some strangeness afoot. And here we go. Should be a full party, right? Yep, there it is. There's a big dragon. Guts, Dark Wolf, Wednesday Champagne. Lucia, we claim victory this day. For Ishgard falls, accept the fury into your heart and defend this bridge with your life's blood. We have to defeat Vishap. That is our goal. Sling the arrows. Slings and arrows shall avail us little against this foe. Ready the cannons. Oof. Don't get hit by the feet, is what it's saying. I just got smacked. There it is, guys. You guys are gonna get hit so hard. Kaboom. Dead. What did I get stunned by? Yep. Some of our people know what to do, and they're using the cannons. Very nice. Oh, that's what the slice does, is it destroys the cannons. I see. This bridge looks a lot bigger than the one I saw when I was flying around. Body slam. Oh, we're gonna take out the wall. Oh, use that limit break. Nice. No other enemies coming out. Okay. We'll beat this guy for a while. Last, I broke into the second lair, but there are yet 2 more wards. Now we have more cannons. I asked, do not let them rush the cannons. Climb the tower and man the dragon killer. Steady now. That bias just like took off. Oh, he's got it. Okay. A hit. I must have felt that one by the fury. Not very often I can attack sideways like this. He's a huge monster, so I can just keep facing the same direction. Another ward down. Bleed them for every step. Our defenses grow thin. More reinforcements arrive. Put down those Avis. If we focus the boss, we'll win, so I'm just gonna do that. There we go. Lucia. Shout your triumph to the heavens, my friends. This day belongs to Ishgard and her blessed defenders. Phoenix. I got one combination for that. That's fine. That's kind of a chaotic fight anyway. The dragons, they are withdrawing, and victory is ours. One of Nidog's greatest champions, slain. The Horde will not soon recover from this blow. But what of you, Nidog? Why do you not join your minions and make this a battle of slaughter? Have you grown so fond of the stench of your lair? Mayhap you prefer to have your allies fight your battles for you. You have a girl to do your bidding now, do you not? No matter. I shall slay Iceheart and all the rest. But I yearn to spill the blood of a great worm, Nidog, and only your death will sate my lance. Alfino! Alcazar, the dragons are routed. Lest you wonder, the fighting at the Steel Vigil was also fierce, but my crystal braves were not found wanting. Commander Levier, Malchezair, true to your word, you arrived to aid us in our hour of need. On behalf of the Holy See and the people of Ishgard, I offer you my humble thanks. Though I would stay and lavish you with well-deserved praise, I fear I must away to oversee the aftermath of the siege. Not all the dragons are fled, and there are yet wounded to be carried from the field. Here let us meet anon, that I might express my thanks with proper courtesy. I too would offer my thanks, Malchezair. Through your deeds, we have achieved a victory of singular importance. With the Dravanian horde thus weakened and scattered, the threat to Ishgard has been greatly diminished. And mayhap equally significant, the Holy See must now recognize the necessity of cooperation with foreign powers. Long have they barred their gates against the outside world, but I am confident that the day will soon come when Ishgard proclaims itself a member of the Eorzean Alliance once more. Much have we sacrificed in our struggles against dragons and primals, the Ascians and the Empire, but step after unfaltering step, we march ever nearer to our goal. And as ever, the journey is made with you in the van. The victory of won this day gives us a greater hope for the morrow. It is a hope that shall sustain us on the days to come, and bear us past the many evils that yet seek to hinder our progress. Yes, we have done well, my friend, and I, for one, would take a moment to savor the enormity of our achievement. The demands of duty, however, allow me little time for levity. I must accompany Captain Ilbert back to Ul'dah and reassign those braves whose squads suffered heavy losses. You, my friend, have earned a rest at the Rising Stones. Pray return to the Revenant's Toll and share your tale with Minfilia in person. Rising Stones. Back to that super cool place. Sweet. Rollo Blackclaw. Roland Durandal. Did I recognize that? Well, Xer, welcome back. Alphino sent word of the siege, and of course of the role you played in ending it. Your deeds never cease to amaze me, Malchezair. Thank you. You must be weary, Malchezair, and now may very well be your only chance to... Or not. Antecedent. Hi. A messenger from Ul'dah arrived with a missive for you. The royal seal. Curious indeed. Ah, an invitation. On behalf of the Council of the Eorzean Alliance, Her Royal Majesty Nanamo Ul'Namo invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to attend a feast at the royal place of Ul'dah in honor of Ishgard's recent victory. It would seem we are to be recognized for our part in lifting the siege. You, for your valiant efforts as commander of the adventurers contingent, and the Archons for their earnest attempts to rouse the city-states. Truly, I find it strange that the Alliance leaders should think themselves deserving of a place at such a celebration. Me too. All three refused to deploy their standing armies, preferring to send hastily assembled companies of sellswords, many of whom perished ere the siege began. Are they truly so brazen as to seek to share in the glory of your triumph? But mayhap they simply seek a pretext to meet with the Ishgardians while the mood is yet jubilant. Such an occasion would present a fine opportunity to press for Ishgar's return to the Eorzean Alliance. We have scarce had time to mourn Mubrida, and I, for one, am in no mood to carouse, but I suppose we must put away our grief for the good of the realm. Though you were promised rest, I fear I must insist you also attend. It would be a strange celebration indeed if the victorious hero were not present. Pray content yourself with the thought that such occasions may bring about a momentous change, and thus without recourse to bloodshed. Taro, you do me a favor of contacting the rest of the Scions? Of course, Antecedent. Curious. I've never known Taro to sigh at such requests. Could aught be amiss? Look for Taro at her desk. Why wouldn't she be there? It shouldn't take long to know that she's not there. Why does this take so long? It's kind of silly. It's conspicuous by her absence. Taro, I believe she just stepped outside. Now that I think on it, she did seem rather preoccupied. Come on. Winter's Rose, Hyper Evo. There she is. Oh, Malkazar, it's you. I didn't mean to worry anyone. It's nothing really. Well, it's not nothing exactly, but it feels like nothing compared to the towering trials you and others face every day. And that's why I should probably talk to Menphilia before things get any worse. You always know what to say, Malkazar. I'm glad we had this little chat. That was easy. What's wrong, Tataru? Yes, Tataru, you have my undivided attention. I've been hesitant to broach the subject, but with all the recent excitement, Malkazar made me realize that there's no time like the present, and time is what I'm here to ask you for. I'm not sure I understand. If you wish to be excused from your duties for a time, then you have certainly earned the rest. But I suspect that lying in bed is far from your intent. You know me too well, Antecedent. There is in fact something I've been wanting to try my hand at. Along with the adventurers and the Crystal Braves, the Scions are constantly being thrown into dangerous battles and deadly predicaments. Even Hoary Boulder and Colton have been promoted from guard duty to fill your need for competent warriors. And so it seems only right that I, too, should require the power to defend myself, and others more importantly. When I return, I shall be both your receptionist and your bodyguard. The music stopped. Well, hey. That's the first time I've almost been knocked down to the ground by a Lalafell. I've never seen Mr. Taro so determined. Has aught befell with which I ought to help? Antecedent? I know I read that wrong, but whatever. Not at present, thank you. Was there something you would ask of me? Ah, yes, pray excuse my distraction. An adventurer who was to join with us for escort duty was injured while on a patrol. And I fear we cannot properly defend the scholars entrusted to our protection without the aid of at least one more guard. Therefore, I humbly request that another adventurer, of the capable kind of course, be assigned to our party. Very well. I shall consider the potential candidates and provide you with a replacement as soon as I am able. My thanks, Antecedent. I take my leave of you. Bum ba dum bum. There are two of them. Well, I'll pick this one up first. The power to defend oneself. Taro has ever been full of surprises. Now that I think on it, I do recall Urianger mentioning that she has developed an interest in Arcanima. Mayhaps she hopes to gain attendance to the Arcanist Guild in Limsa Laminza. Yes, that'll be the way of it. Would you be so kind as to journey to the guild and see that all is well? It is doubtless unwarranted, but surely I am not alone in my concern for her safety. I wonder, do you perchance recall the commitment I made to furnish Hoary Boulder with a capable adventurer? Well, I'm sorry to say that I have yet been unable to do so. Now, I've realized that you are rather more than a capable adventurer, and that escort duty is frankly beneath a man of your talents, but I have no one else to turn to at the present. Might you be willing to forego rest and assist us in this matter? Well, let's do it. Generous to a fault. I thank you, Malkazair. Now it seems only fair that I explain the import of the task in question. For some time, our order has employed a handful of scholars to travel around Eorzea taking etheric readings, that we might better understand the impact of primal summonings. Naturally, it behooves us to ensure our employees' safety, and so we ask the adventurers in our service to serve as escorts. Hoary Boulder and Coltonet were to act as two such escorts, as was a third adventurer. Alas, due to injury, said adventurer is not presently fit for duty, hence my need to impose upon your goodwill. I'll nod again. You truly are a pillar of strength, Malkazair. Hoary Boulder will share with you the details of your task. He should be waiting for you outside. Be safe. Let's do that one first. I'll do both before I turn them in. Or maybe they turn in different spots. Whatever, I'll do this one first. Malkazair, is it true that you agreed to lend us a hand? Huzzah! We did it. What did I tell you, Coltonet? Our misfortune has become a blessing, an opportunity to serve alongside the warrior of light himself. Did I remind you that we have 3 scholars to escort, each of whom will take a different route? True, but our mission is the same. Separated by moms we may be, but in spirit we shall be together. If such thoughts bring you joy, you are welcome to think them. More practical concerns. Malkazair, we would have you attend to the scholar charged with surveying the South Shroud. He is waiting at Camp Tranquil as we speak. All you need to do is follow the man. He will determine the most appropriate locations to take his readings. In spirit, Malkazair. In spirit, we shall be together every step of the way. Alright, man. Sure. Unsettled Scholar. At last, the Scion's man deigns to grace me with his presence. I'd pity that we have no time for pleasantries. My first destination is Izamhar. Come, we are late enough as it is. Yes, this location should suffice. Once I finished calibrating my instruments, I will require but a moment to take the necessary measurements. I trust I need not explain that my work can suffer no interruptions. Then please, stand at an appropriate distance and keep watch for wild beasts. I see we both completed our respective tasks, a satisfactory outcome. Though, if I can make one suggestion, you might try to dispatch your foes more quietly in the future. I would not like to pick fault, but I really must be allowed to concentrate. Now then, Snake Mold awaits, shall we? What's down there anyway? Something you usually don't get to check out. A lot of things like that opened up when you started being able to fly in the old game. Right about here, yes. As before, I would ask you to keep an eye out for dangerous beasts as I work. Excuse me. Annabeth Mako. Fascinating. These readings are not at all what I expected. Though perhaps this should come as no surprise. I'm not given to superstition, but there is a queer, almost blasphemous air hereabouts. Let us quit this place and return to Roots Lake. We have one more site to survey. As before, my guardian, pray lead me to my task and ensure our safety. Where is my waiting spot? There. Go and silence me. That does nothing to me. I mean, I guess that does damage, but not enough to worry about. This data should prove invaluable to... Ye gods, what is that stench? Did you slaughter a creep of adamatoises while my back was turned? Quickly now, to Camp Tranquil. I'll not have my clothing reeking of blood and offal. You chose to paddle in the Ichor a while longer, I take it. No matter. I took advantage of my unexpected privacy and performed a cursory analysis of the data. It would appear that there has been a measurable decrease in Eorzea's ambient aether concentration since the calamity. However, this data is far from conclusive. We must take additional measurements to confirm my assessment. For our next survey, I would have you escort me to Earth's fount. The ambient aether concentrations there are so high that crystalline structures form spontaneously. Consequently, anomalous fluctuations should be much easier to detect. Brilliant, yes? But don't bother answering, that was rhetorical. Now come along. I really had to wait for him to get over there by walking that slow. This game would take ages. You should be more familiar with the procedure by now. Pray find a suitable position from which to keep watch while I take measurements. Stand watch, and more stand watch. Yes, quite high. It's still markedly lower than the historical measurements taken near the end of the 6th Astral Era. The presence of a primal account for the difference? Or is there something else? Something else. Something else. Scion, come here. I need you. Is that Wilrid? Fear not, my friends. Help us arrived. There you are, Malkazair. Hori and I were worried when you and your charge failed to return at the appointed hour. Gutted like a hog. But not by one, no. These wounds are made with a blade. Doesn't look like he put up much of a fight either. Nary a mark on his sword or his shield. I've heard nothing of any Crystal Brave operations in this area. What caused that Wilrid to come here? What should we do? We will see to the Scholar's protection, Malkazair. Aye, and the boy's remains. You should return to the Rising Stones. The antecedent will want to know what happened here. I want to know what happened here. Somebody killed him. Yeah, so do I. Yep. That one will wait. Let's go to Limsa and go check up on Tataru. La-dee-da. Loading, the loading screen. Come on, everyone, load. You downstairs? Probably. Wouldn't doubt it. Malgazer, what are you doing here? I didn't mean for her to worry. That's the last thing I wanted. Putting an end to such worries is precisely the reason I'm here, don't you see? I, Totaro Taro, shall become a great and powerful arcanist. And now, at Mistress Thuberchim's behest, I must go and complete a special training exercise. Until we meet again. Ah, if it isn't Malgazer, what brings you to the guild? So you are acquainted with our newest member. An arcanist of your experience must see that her potential is somewhat lacking. Nevertheless, she would not be denied and now goes to undertake her first trial. A simulated inspection of 3 crates. Doubtless you recall receiving similar training under Kalia's supervision. A thought occurs to me, why not oversee Totaro's training yourself? Given your relationship with the girl and your familiarity with the task, I think you the ideal choice. You need only to head the cliffs south of Sever Gate, as before, and observe at a distance. Estrella Moonstone. Zephyr Gate, there it is. There are the 3 crates. Over Azure Seas to Pirate's Port, where she met her shining jewel. Where to bring the smuggler's plans to naught, came the lass whom none could fool. She's singing up a song. She has a carbuncle. Oh ho ho, are those crates I spy? And this must be the true test. But we're ready for them, aren't we, Carbuncle? Carbuncle just leaves. Carbuncle? Oh, come back, Carbuncle, come back! Poor Tataru. I should have known you'd come, Malgazer. You didn't say a word, your face says it all. I know you bore witness to my shame. Betrayed by my own carbuncle, and left at the mercy of wild beasts. I must accept the truth. I'll never be a warrior like you or the others. I'll inform Mrs. Thuberdoom my intention to withdraw from the guild. Arcanum, like so much else, is beyond me. Poor Tataru. See if we see any more ridiculous names while I'm running around. Ancelot, East Knight. Nothing too crazy. Back so soon. How fared our fledgling arcanist? Abysmally, Mr. Stupid Theme. Abysmally, as Malcazar will testify. I was wrong to become an arcanist. Wrong as usual. I am completely and utterly unqualified, and I sincerely apologize for wasting your time. Haru, if that were true, I would not have permitted you to join in the first place. We must all come to accept our limitations, lest our ambitions lead us astray. However, we must not lose sight of our strengths in the process. For example, your exceptional skill with numbers helped you gain a solid grasp of the fundamentals of Arcanima. Were it not so, you would have struggled to even summon Carbuncle to your side. In my opinion, the Scions are very fortunate to have such a capable and good-natured receptionist in their service. Would you not agree? Am I going to throw a nod out? Yeah, there it is. You are too kind, Mr. Stuperdeme. Though I could not overcome this challenge, I shall take your words to heart and try not to be discouraged. As fetching as these garments are, I fear I shall never don them again. But I can't go back to the Rising Stones without something to show for my time away. Wait, I know what I can do. That is, if you don't mind accompanying me for a little longer. Let's do it. Wonderful, then to Costa del Sol we will go. It's a bit of a gamble, but I'm confident it'll pay off. Is. Yes, this is it. This is where the man of the drowning wench told me to look. There is a certain variety of clam which can be harvested this time of year in the Bloodshore, one which produces the most marvelous pearls. However, these clams are also coveted by certain wild creatures, and since I fared rather poorly in the battle last time, let us be off. What fortune? I've already found one. Would you be so kind as to keep watch while I work? This should only take a moment. Pretty much like the other quests I was doing. It's the Morgue Hour. You want to fight me? Let's do this! Nice, the Chocobo used his new ability. Cool, they summoned a Morgue Hour as well. I'll help them out. We go a lot faster with the two of us anyway. What level are you, Vast Peach? 53. Okay. Well fought, Malgazir, well fought. I knew I was right to ask you to come. As for me, I have my prize, a bounty of blood pearls. I may make charms for everyone, so that no matter where they go, they'll always come home. Oh, did I click when I wasn't whatever, I'll stop clicking. It's sort of the power to defend myself and other people in a way. Right, well, I mustn't keep Flamen waiting. There's work to be done, and lots of it. Order secure provisions for the Scions and the Leminson markets. She may have an eye for quality, but I have a nose for bargains. Will you be heading back to the Rising Stones? If so, pray convey my apology to the antecedent and tell her that she needn't worry about me. Farewell, Malgazir, and thank you for everything. That sounded rather final, didn't it? How about until we meet again? So now I could go turn in both at the same time. Wait. Oh. I remember what was going on. It seemed like I was having trouble connecting. That's what that little red circle with the red line through it means. The red lightning means there's a connection issue. Come on. On. Luffy Sunstar. Welcome home, Malgazir. I gather you found Tataru and Limsa Liminza. Explain, explain, explain. My, it sounds as though she had quite an adventure. Now, while it did not end as she hoped, I suspect that it will prove to be a valuable experience. I dare say she could have managed without your intervention. Even so, I appreciate you indulging my request. Malgazir, you are returned, and you seem troubled. Did the role of the escort chafe so? More explaining, we found the body of Wilrid. He'd been gutted. Wilrid dead, mayhap murdered? By the 12, how can that be? I will send word to Alphino at once. He will want to conduct a full investigation and send word to Wilrid's family. Gods, he was just a boy. Who would do this, and why? A time for every purpose. I think this is the point where if you didn't have the Crystal Tower completed, you would not be able to continue with the story. So I'm glad I did that, based on my research. The recent events weigh heavily on our minds. We must needs set them aside for now. We are come to a defining moment in Eorzean history. A grand commemoration of our joint defense of Ishgard, the first time in 15 long years that our people have stood by side with our neighbors to the north to fight in a common cause. This may mark the true rebirth of the Eorzean Alliance. If you're feeling that, it should very least serve to bring our nations closer together. We have every reason to raise our voices in celebration, do we not? We have bested Dravanians and Asians both. Against desperate odds, we have fought and won. But the Primal still plague us, and the Empire still plots our subjugation. And our triumphs, remarkable though they are, were bought at a terrible price. Brave adventurers and allies broken on the steps of faith. And before our eyes, in this very room, our dear friend Moon Breda. This is the victory we have wrought, and it is as bitter ashes in my mouth. I would sooner stay here and invite those with more appetite to join the feast in my stead. Alas, it is a royal banquet, and all of our allies will be in attendance. It is our duty to present a united front, that we may serve as a beacon of hope to all. Get a nod in there. Why not throw one in? You too? It seems I have no choice but to take my own advice. I instructed the others to meet us in Ul'dah, that we might make our grand entrance together. Unfortunately, I had to settle for leaving Tataru and Laman a note. If they do not return quickly, they will have to settle for what other leftovers I can smuggle out of the fragrant chamber. Excuse me. Rio, off to the big soiree, Malgazar. Raise a glass for me, eh? Or not. You don't look best pleased, lad. Something on your mind? I'm telling about Wilrid? Is that what I'm doing? Explain. Why, the Navigator. Wilrid's dead. Gods damn it. They must know they've been rumbled. Sod it. This past time we had this talk. After our last conversation, I got to thinking about where certain funds were coming from. So I had to dig around, on the quiet like, and sure enough I found it. Seems a fair bit of coins made its way into the Braves' coffers courtesy of Dodo Consortium. A daft name for a business if I ever heard one, which is what first gave me an inkling that something weren't right. So I went through the ledgers again and found another half-dozen donations from organizations with stupid bloody names. Didn't take long to find the common thread. All were owned by the Mirage Trust. Oh, I'll give the bastard credit. He showed us up for the amateurs we are. Short of calling one of his bloody businesses the Bribery Consortium, I don't know what more he could have done to mock our rules on financial contributions. The gods only know how many men in the first and the third are taking Telegi's coin. But now we know as some of them are, I'd wager me right eye, they're the ones that what did for Wilrid. The earnest young fool had taken to asking the wrong kind of questions. Bound to attract attention he was. Should have seen it at the time, but I didn't, gods damn me. Still, I don't see what Telegi hopes to accomplish. He hid his scheme with all the care of a drunk piston in the wind. No, he's cleverer than this, so we need to be clever too. That's the only way we'll ever repay his debt of blood. We'll purge every one of them traitorous bastards from our ranks. On that you have me word. And Alcazar, mind yourself when you're in Ul'dah, eh? We're headed into a storm. I can smell it. The kind that'll sweep a man overboard and drag him under before he knows it. We are on the cusp. Maybe 3 or 4 quests left to get into Heavensward. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for now. Thanks everyone for watching. If you liked what you saw, please throw me a follow. It is free to you and it really does help me out. Keep an eye on the YouTube as well. I will be uploading all these videos to YouTube and you can always go back there and follow the entire story from beginning to the end, as where I'm going to eventually take this. Thanks you all for watching.